Right, we have joining us Professor Chris Kwaja. He's a professor of international relations and strategic studies, Modibo Adama University in Yola. Thank you so much for joining us. Good to have you on Newsnight. When you hear that the Nigerian government is paying as much as $9 million to lobby the government, the Trump administration in the United States to let the government know that, look, Nigeria is making all efforts, doing all it can and should to reverse that perception that Nigeria is allowing Christians to be killed. What do you make of this lobbying and the costs at which it's come?
First is to state the point that there is nothing wrong with lobbying. Governments, companies, and individuals are involved or engaged in lobbying. It is allowed by law globally. It is a global phenomenon, and for countries who seek to advance, or even corporate entities who seek to advance or influence policies around areas of interest, they identify lobbying groups with networks and connections that are able to push through some of those interests. In the context of Nigeria and looking at the issue we are dealing with, my sense is that going ahead to engage DCI to lobby on behalf of the Nigerian government in some ways is also a vote of no confidence on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because the primary duty of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs through the respective diplomatic missions abroad is to articulate and advance Nigeria's foreign policy priorities. And one of the core priorities of Nigerian foreign policy under the Tinubu administration is the fact that diversity management in the context of the management of Nigeria's diverse relationships is a major governance responsibility. And we can see that the Tinubu administration has been investing heavily in building national cohesion. But the challenge is that not much has been done from the perspective of our foreign policy when it comes to the role that our ambassadors and diplomatic missions should play. The other side to the contract, I went through many of the newspapers that analyzed the issue in question. The major issue there is that while DCI was able to submit details of the documents to the Department of Justice in the United States, the Federal Ministry of Justice in the context of Nigeria has not released any official document. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has not released any official document to that effect. You recall that in 1993, when the Babangida administration established the National Orientation Agency, it was meant to have an institution from the local government, the state, and the national level, to have an institution that is able to articulate government policies in a way that every Nigerian understands what government is doing. And where they have questions, they have government institutions and personnel with expertise to explain what the policies of government are meant to do and to achieve. And I think part of what I see should have been done is that the National Orientation Agency, as a government institution that can also do the kind of work that these lobbying institutions out there are doing, should have been empowered to do that in country, while our foreign missions abroad are able to handle the external side of it. Yes, you can identify lobbying groups because they have the contacts, they have the relationships, they have the goodwill, and they are also able to amplify some of those issues. Now, that tripartite arrangement of pushing forward what government agenda is should have been the focus of the Nigerian government. We have a situation now where we are investing outside the country to make the US government and other countries understand what the government is doing with respect to the issue of genocide. While in country, we are dealing with a huge public discontent, hate, as well as disunity around whether or not Christians were killed, Muslims were killed, and all that. So there is a major national cohesion challenge that we need to deal in country. So government should be able to prioritize both the external and the internal coordination mechanisms
for Professor Kwaja, if you can hear me.
Foreign policy priorities.
Yes. You echoed the sentiments of the opposition party, the People's Democratic Party. I mean, they've highlighted exactly what you've said, including lack of governance, failure of governance, lack of trust in the institutions that could do this job. And I just want to ask you, with both the Nigerian government and separatist groups now lobbying Washington with competing narratives, are there any consequences, perhaps long-term, short-term consequences of internationalizing domestic issues? And does this weaken Nigeria's sovereignty in any way? Because there are also issues around that. Why do we take our problems abroad to be discussed?
There are governance, defense, humanitarian, and even security consequences for internationalizing a country's issues. And that is why both the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Ministry of Information, should have a more coordinated approach to dealing with Nigeria's issues. Yes, you can internationalize your issue with a view to helping the international community understand what these issues are. If you don't do that, the moment countries have misgivings around what is happening in country, many business entities will be wary of investing in your country. And that is why it is important to get the message right. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has the primary duty of ensuring that the image of the country is laundered in a way that boosts the credibility and also the respect that the country has outside the country. Once that is done, then the green passport that I hold or every Nigerian holds will be respected at every airport across the world.
Now, Prof, one wonders when these kinds of back-channel moves are being made, should they be made public in this way? How much damage has any move to get President Trump or his administration to be on the same page with the Nigerian government? Has any damage been done now that this is in the public view?
So far, I don't think there is any damage that has been done because just like I mentioned earlier, it is not wrong to lobby. But when the lobbying is done under a climate of lack of transparency, citizens begin to ask questions. And I think it is the responsibility of Nigerians to articulate, to push forward or advance what the issues are. We have many Nigerians out there that can do a lot of this. It's a matter of engaging them. Even for some of us with relationship beyond this country, we've been able to engage with a view to making the international community understand what the issues are and the extent to which government is going to address this lingering issue of managing diversity across identity fault lines.
There are critics who say that no amount of lobbying can override age-long perceptions, in this instance by a particular group, a separatist group. In your opinion, what exactly do you think the Nigerian government, now that it is at this stage, what should they really be influencing in Washington? Are they influencing, changing just the narrative, or beyond that? What would you be advising the Nigerian government to do going forward?
The Nigerian government must, as a matter of priority, be present, be visible in the international community. We don't have ambassadors in the United States. We don't have ambassadors across many countries that are key allies of the Nigerian government. In the Middle East, we don't have ambassadors. In Europe, we don't have ambassadors. So the Nigerian government must be visible, and the visibility must be defined from the perspective of identifying credible individuals with the pedigree that can endear the international community to them. When you send people out there without the kind of integrity that is required, the international community will really not take Nigeria serious. And the United States is one major country that we must prioritize when it comes to the quality of ambassador or the quality of ambassadors we are sending to other countries across the world where Nigerian foreign policy as a matter of priority needs to be pushed forward. For instance, Qatar in the Middle East is one, the Saudi Arabia is one, United States, United Kingdom, France, Britain, Pakistan, for instance. These are core countries that we must sit down and ensure that the kind of individuals we send to these countries are individuals that are able to defend the interests of this country, that they are individuals that when they speak, the international community will respect and hold their words as their honor.
Yes, indeed. Professor Chris Kwaja, we hope that Nigerians at the end of the day will be the greatest beneficiaries of this lobbying effort by the Nigerian government. Thank you very much for joining us, Professor of International Relations and Strategic Studies, Modibo Adama University in Yola.